Yeah, not really. If I would have known what I was doing, we went to let him get so many corner threes. We were having trouble with that middle ball screen. They were splitting it and then pulling in our help and kicking it to Graham in the corner. And we tried to talk about not getting split, and then we made an adjustment, and Evan and Anthony did a good job with that. That helped. And I think London's difficult shot at the end of the shot clock, 4-point game, that was big, and I think Evan followed up with a 3 quickly after. Those were big plays, and then we settled our problem, or we got better defensively. So that thing could have turned either way, and that was a huge momentum boost for us to get up 6, get a stop, come down, and get another good look.
Doug, and then we'll take one in the back.
Talk about the process of Justin getting ready for this game.
Yeah.
When did you know he'd be ready to play, and what did you think?
Yeah, I think we're going to sprain his other ankles to get him right if he can play like that. He was terrific. After the Maryland game, he didn't practice the next day. We weren't sure. He practiced yesterday about maybe 2/3 of the practice and looked pretty good, so I thought he was going to be okay. Darian obviously couldn't go today, but boy, he really sucked it up, and his ankle's swollen. It's just a classic ankle sprain. I don't think he's ever done it before, so for all of us in the room, when you sprain your ankle the first time, that's quite a sensation. But he battled through it, and I thought he really let the game come. Great drives. He worked, got on the glass, helped us out, and took those feet set jumpers, and it was contributions from everyone, but your question about him, that was a heck of a game for Justin.
Okay, take one in the back.
Coach, can you put this game in context for us? You shot over 70%. You beat a team that never loses here on this court, big in-state rivalry. What's this mean for this team and for you?
Before I go on, even and Ethan Sleeb, I always talk about Mike Curtis and all that, but the job he did getting Justin ready and almost Darian, impressive how much time he spends. So he was great. I want to give him a big shout out for that. But we just knew, I told our guys before the game, play against the game. Don't get caught up in the circumstances and the emotion of it. I told them the same thing after Maryland. It's just a good old-fashioned b-ball game. That can distract you. If you come in here and get caught up in this, hey, they got us last year, hey, they're so good. I just said, just play. Try to play. We had 3 keys. Handle their pressure, okay? And if you got something on the back end of it, score. If it's a 3-on-2, 2-on-1 at the rim, score. And that's why the percentage was high for us. We didn't do that as much last year, so we tried to attack that more. But if we didn't have it, we said back it out and try to break them down. Then get physical and play our style. And then defensively, I said, you got to give a great effort defensively. At times we didn't, but when we needed to, we sat down and did what we needed to. And and I just kept reminding them, don't worry about anything but the moment. And we talked about handling the ball, rebounding, getting good stops. Because I think you can make. Had we lost this game, we know we're beatable. We know that anyways. We know we're vulnerable. That blip on the radar, we move on and keep progressing. We were fortunate to win. Guys played well. We keep trying to improve and see where we're at. And now we've got, I joked with our radio guys, so we got another kind of havoc coming with our finals. We got 13 days off before we play again. So our guys, obviously, will give them 2 days off and get ready to go.
Take another one in the back.
Hey, Coach, having all these guys that have been through the experience, been on various stages last year, and now
that helped.
How does that help when you come into an environment?
It did. That's why I was impressed with Devin Hall. And Devin and Evan gave us really good lifts, and Devin has not been in this situation, but I thought Evan, his experience showed he was big for us, and the guys keeping their composure and staying, playing against the game, not trying to do anything but that. That was significant. And I have so much respect. I remember I said last year in the press conference, Shaka's a friend, and I have so much respect for his program. I can say that in defeat, and I can say that in victory because, that thing could have turned like that, and he's done a great job, and I admire him and what they've done. And it's just 2 programs trying to get as good as you can, and it's a fine line. So we were fortunate to come out of that, but you need experience, and I think that experience showed for us down the stretch.
Okay, Mark.
You mentioned Evan, the job he did defensively.
Yep.
And just talk about switching. You went to a smaller lineup.
Yep.
It seemed what we both have when you kind of went on your surge. But
Yeah.
how important was his role guarding Graham?
Well, it was a hard matchup for Mike, and that's why I was concerned when Darian couldn't play because he's athletic enough and quick enough to either switch or really blow up screens. They're all 6'6" and so athletic and interchangeable, and that was hard with those matchups. And that's why I thought we were better with Evan guarding Graham and Anthony. We matched their athleticism a little more. And, again, he's a heady player. That's the experience coming in and making the right decisions. And then for him to make that big 3, was significant.
Okay, Paul.
How
Tony London, 3 for 6, just 6 points, but he had 9 assists, and it seemed to me like he really did a good job
Yeah.
of breaking down VCU in half court.
Right. Yeah. 2 turnovers early, taking it out on the press, and then after that he settled down. You have to do that because both teams were playing so hard, and someone was going to break a little bit. And if we get in a frenzied pace all up and down all the time, we can't. But we're used to, all right, make them pay if we have a chance. But then in the half court, that's where we're strong and that's where we're conditioned. And I thought London did it right. Same thing against Maryland. He did the same thing. We've all talked about, well, we want London. He's got to be more aggressive. He's got to shoot more. I think with Justin and Malcolm looking to be assertive, London has a good feel for that. And I never want to take him out of his game, but keep just nudging him a little bit to look for things. And I thought he had a good feel tonight.
Take one on the back left.
Tony, can you talk a little about the mental toughness of your team answering every time they made a little run at you? It looked like y'all were able to have quick answers.
Yeah, I mean, we made some buckets, and the guys, they kept their composure. Again, it goes back to the experience and not putting too much on it. I think they've been there many times, and that there's no substitute for that.
Okay. David.
Tony, as fast as they want to play and can make you play, this was still just a 60-possession game, which is right in your wheelhouse. Were you pleased that you all use the term not get sped up?
Yeah.
Were you pleased at the way your team did not allow the game to get
Yeah,
too up?
I think for the majority of the time. I think there had to be a balance. You had to score some easy buckets on the back end when there were 2-on-1s at the rim. And I thought when we didn't have it, I don't think maybe 1 or 2 times, unless we turned it over, we pulled it out, and then it was our pace. And that was, I think, a real important offensive thing for us. And I tell our guys, they can go to the next level as a team if they can find that sweet spot of being assertive, but with that level of patience, that's important for us. And then never giving an inch on the defensive end.
Okay, 2 more questions. We'll take Damon and then finish with Jeff.
Tony, you mentioned a little bit about the break. I know it's out of your control, but on one hand, it's a chance to get healthy, but on the other hand, maybe lose some momentum. How do you feel about this extended type of layoff?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the longest ones. Not much I can do. I love what UVA stands for. Like I've always said, that it's an elite academic institution. It's the longer break, but we got a chance to compete at the highest level, and that's part of it. I guess you need that long, so our guys just have to be ready. And I know that we've played 9 games in a short amount of time, so we'll have to find a way to keep improving. And they got a lot of studies to do. I know that.
Okay, Jeff.
Tony, at JPJ last year, Anthony got in foul trouble. He didn't score. Tonight, obviously, he was the presence around the basket. When you do break the press, how pivotal is it to have a guy like him who can finish the way?
Yeah, and he had great hands. He caught a bunch of them. Yeah, Malcolm was rusty last year, and Anthony, was off of the red shirt. I thought we were more assertive or aggressive at the back end of the press this year. We did it in the second half against VCU last year, but if you can get some of those, that's everything for us. And again, defensively, they're so good at speeding you up. You can't take away everything, just like we can't speed people up and force them into turnovers. And so, we had to use their pressure at times against them and try to do that right. And those were the times that, on the back end, Anthony caught and finished. Mike did a good job in there. And I thought that was significant, but Anthony had a heck of a game, too.
Thanks, Coach. UVA players will be available outside of the hallway, down the hallway,